Okay, welcome to day 7 of my Veganuary vlogs. Today I'm going to talk about what a healthy vegan diet looks like. A whole foods, plant-based diet. The diet that we are supposed to be eating, species appropriate. So first of all, I'm just going to prepare what I would typically eat for breakfast. I love starting my day with fruit. It's really hydrating. People are chronically dehydrated these days, and chronic dehydration is one of the major causes of all of the sort of lifestyle diseases that a lot of people are experiencing. Things that you might not put together, stuff like arthritis. There's a big link between arthritis and the dehydrated state of the body. So by starting out your day with at least a litre of water, and then when you get hungry, some fruit, like a fruit salad or a smoothie bowl, or just a mono meal of your favourite fruit. That is definitely the best way to get started. It's hydrating, there's lots of vitamins and minerals in fruit, and so it's really a great way to start your day. So typically what I would have for breakfast is, at this time of year, there's delicious fruit. Oh my gosh, my favourite time of year. Mangoes, dragon fruit, papaya is a fruit you can get year round, so I rely on that as one of my morning fruits. We can even get citrus at this time of year. You can always get bananas and pineapples most of the time as well. So I'm just going to make a smoothie bowl for breakfast, and I'm actually not ready to eat breakfast yet. I eat breakfast quite late in the day. I follow an intermittent fasting sort of style of eating, which I can talk a little bit more about in one of the subsequent videos if anyone's interested. But basically it just means that all of the calories that I eat in a shorter window. It's called your feeding window. I tend to not eat breakfast until around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, which suits our lifestyle really well because I've got a very full lifestyle. I run a vet practice. I have 3 young kids, so particularly during the school year, mornings are pretty hectic, getting lunch boxes ready and getting organised for the day ahead, making sure school bags are packed, all that sort of stuff. And so I don't particularly like rushing my food. I like to be able to sit down and mindfully eat it as much as possible, and that's really important too because it helps you really tune into what your body desires, what feels good, and when you're full as well. If you're just sitting and eating in front of a computer while you're working, or rushing through your breakfast just to try and get it down before you head off to work, it's unlikely that you're going to actually tune into your true needs. So I normally prep my breakfast while I'm getting all the other food ready for the day for the kids, and then I take it to work with me, and then when I get a break in my consults I'll sit down and eat my breakfast at that stage. And so this morning what I'm doing is making a smoothie with some mango, including a little bit of frozen mango. I always put a little bit of frozen fruit in my smoothies because it makes them a really nice, creamy, thick consistency. So I've got 1 mango cheek frozen and 2 frozen bananas in this one. 1 whole mango, some dragon fruit. I'm going to put a little bit of pineapple in it as well, and a little bit of orange juice too. And so, I mean, you look at the rainbow of foods in front of you. This is how you eat healthy. This is how you get all of the nutrients that your body needs. If you sit down to a meat-based meal, there's not usually that much colour unless you've added a lot of vegetables. And the colour, if you're eating a wide variety of colours in your day, that's when you can be sure that you're going to be getting all the micronutrients that we need, which is what we discussed in the last couple of videos. So what else would I typically eat in a day? Like I said, I'm on an intermittent fasting schedule, and normally I just have 2 larger meals and then 1 smaller meal or a snack. And so this is very typical. some sort of fruit type breakfast, usually quite a large serving. That way I'm really satisfied and I feel full for a long time afterwards, and I'm not going hunting for more food. The other reason I think people sort of hunt for snacks or hunt for food is because they're not eating a diet high in micronutrients. So even if you're eating a lot of calories, but especially if you're sort of eating really dense animal products like meat, there's not a lot of micronutrients in that food, and so your body's still craving something, it's still looking for something, and that you're just not going to find it on that sort of diet. So fruit typically for breakfast. If I do prepare something to take for lunch or dinner to eat at work, like yesterday for example, I prepared a large salad that had some mango in it, as well as all the sort of salad fruits and leafy greens. Some days I'll just take some leftover dinner from the night before, and that can be a range of different foods. Some of our favourites are things like rice paper rolls or vegan sushi, or a lentil dish like a dal with rice, or Ethiopian sort of lentil dish with salsa, vegan pizza. Like there's so much variety and so many yummy foods that you certainly don't ever get bored. Like that's one thing that people say, oh, but isn't a vegan diet boring? Don't you just eat like a rabbit? Don't you just eat lettuce? What do you eat? Well, this is what we eat. We eat plants, and they're delicious, and they're so good for you, and why wouldn't you want to eat this? I don't understand. So yeah, I'll just finish off this smoothie. With the kids, they probably do eat a little bit differently, so I try and encourage them to have some fruit to start their day as well, because I reckon that's the best start to a day. Rome, our boy, is probably the biggest fruit bat of the three of them, so he's usually happy to start out with some fruit or a smoothie. He loves his smoothies. Or a smoothie bowl. For the kids we call them party in a bowl, and they find that more exciting, so they'll often have a smoothie bowl for breakfast. And then they get to put fun toppings on them as well, so you know, a bit of shredded coconut or some nuts or seeds or some goji berries or sliced fruit or granola or something like that. And so that makes it exciting for them. And if they don't feel like that for breakfast, then usually they'll have some porridge. So that's either raw and soaked like a bircher, or cooked steel cut or rolled oat porridge, cooked with water and some type of plant milk. So that could be like a coconut and rice milk, or just a plain rice milk, or a nut milk or something like that. And then they usually top that with a little bit of maple syrup or some coconut sugar, and sometimes some stewed fruit or something as well. And usually I put a bit of cinnamon in it. So that's kind of a typical breakfast. Lily doesn't like that sort of stuff for breakfast, so I usually make something different for her. She likes a bit more savoury sorts of food, so polenta porridge is probably a staple for her. The kids love avocado on toast, so occasionally they'll have toast for breakfast with avocado. Or on weekends we might do a cook-up, like a big tofu scramble with some mushrooms and stuff on the side. So that's kind of a typical family breakfast. So the other things that I might put on this, wait a second. I do usually put a little bit of healthy fats in my smoothie, so that might be just a little sprinkle of coconut flakes or a little bit of hemp seed, or some tahini. And I especially do that if I'm making one for the kids, because kids do have a little bit higher requirement for fat in their diet. And especially if it's a school morning, I'll try and put something in the smoothie that's a little bit more satiating long term, makes them feel fuller for longer. So something fats, or maybe some plant-based protein powder like some pea protein or something I'll use occasionally as well. So that's a typical smoothie for me. And then that's kind of how we eat. So I'm not going to obviously cook dinner or anything today. I'll maybe talk about that in another video. I've already sort of talked about the typical kinds of foods that we'll eat for dinner. Snacks are usually things like nuts, or the kids like those rice cake things, and I do like a homemade Vegemite that they'll put on that, or some nut butter or avocado, something like that. We also often will do wraps, beans. We'll often make like a Mexican bean type dish, like black beans for dinner, and then you can eat that a variety of ways. So I'll cook up a big pot of beans and then eat that over 3 subsequent nights in 3 different ways. So serve it one night with like a Mexican rice, serve it one night with some wraps and do like burritos, and serve it another night with some nachos or something like that. And so the Veganuary page on Facebook is a great resource for that. That's where I've been dumping a lot of my vegan recipe links, and a lot of vegan friends post on there as well. So that's a really excellent resource if you're looking for vegan recipes. So that's what I would encourage you to start moving towards if you're not already. More colour, more variety, more fruits, more vegetables, hydrating foods that are raw, that are water rich. Fruit is the only food that you can eat raw that hasn't got a toxic element in it. And by that I mean, leafy greens like chard or kale, for example, have elements in them to stop insects and animals from eating them, whereas fruits actually want to be eaten. They want us to pick them off the tree. They want us to eat their seeds so that we can disperse them, and then more fruits will grow. So it's the ideal food for our species. And what kid doesn't love fruit? Well, actually I do know one child that doesn't like fruit, but most kids love fruit. I didn't particularly love fruit as a kid, but often with fruit I think it comes down to quality. And if you're looking to increase the amount of fruit in your diet, then that's something else I will cover in another video as well, because some people do find that they're sensitive to fructose or sensitive to different types of fruits, and if they start to eat fruit, they'll get belly pain or ferment, get gas and that sort of stuff. And there is ways to prepare your body so that you can start increasing the amounts of healthy foods like fruit in your diet without having to go through those sorts of things. So I'll cover that in another video. I'm just going to finish off my smoothie now. Start your day with fruit and water, and you will feel energized and hydrated and happy and healthy, and yeah, how can you not enjoy it? See ya. See you tomorrow.